Hi guys, Cliff here. I'm going to talk you through three of my favourite biplanes. They're all 60-inch, 5-foot wingspan, and obviously they're all biplanes. And I'm looking at my collection now. So I'm going to start with my latest model, I think. The latest model is this one here. Now you've probably watched the build video. If you haven't, I'll put a link to it in the description. It's a model designed by David Boddington. It was originally designed, I think it was 1968, the original design, and being a typical David Boddington model, it's got a lot of dihedral and it's built like a barn door. But they all look very similar, all look very the same really, construction wise. Now this one was I've got from a club sale, builder unknown, and it was about 2/3 finished, I suppose. The original builder intended it for IC. Let's put the engine bearers in. Could have been started a long time ago, decades ago, but I finished it, and I'm rather pleased the way it's come out. I painted it with emulsion, ordinary household emulsion, and then a coat of matte lacquer just to hold it all together. And yeah, quite pleased with the way that's come out. The roundels, I've done a separate video on the roundels. If you want to check that one out, I can put a link to that as well in the description. I'll open the hatch. So it's going to take a large 4S battery, which will sit here, sit in there, and just sit back into the bulkhead there. It's got a 60 amp ESC Turnigy, and that goes like that. Got a big magnet on the front. It's got quite a lot of downfuss built in, which I can easily, that's a free flight thing really, but I can easily change that by packing the engine with washers a little bit, or the motor I should say. So that's the Manik. Oh, I've also put a rotating camera mount in the cockpit so I can get some nice aerial shots looking each way, so looking forward to that. Big large symmetrical section tailplane. That's the Manik. The design, the paint scheme actually is from Billy Bishop's SE5A, but I rather liked it, and as it looks a little bit SE5A-ish, I thought I would use it. Now the next biplane is the Swedish company Wayfarer. This one's also 60-inch. I bought it as an IC model, oil soaked. Spent a couple of months stripping it off and redoing it. The original undercarriage, that was a little bit on the small side, but the original dual undercarriage or aluminium undercarriage weighed about a pound with the wheels, so I ditched that. Also the tail feathers were solid sheet, so I've remade those in a built-up construction. You can see it shining through the fin there a little bit. And just put this colour. Oh, the other thing I did was to put, I didn't like the fuselage being slab sided, so I put on some stringers on the outside just to give it a bit of a shape, which I rather like. This one's got strip ailerons all the way down the wing, which give you loads of authority, but I've also coupled the ailerons to the rudder so I can do nice coordinated turns, but you've got to add a little bit more on the rudder. And as you can see, I've still got Santa sitting in there from the Christmas video. I can put a link to that down below if you want to check that video out. He looked rather good. He also rotates and looks at the camera. Little printed instrument panel. I think it was a Tiger Moth one actually. which, just swing back to the Manik, actually I did a similar little printed out. I think that was an earlier, earlier instrument panel. Can't remember what it was for now, but interestingly, just while I'm back on the Manik, as you can see, it's only got ailerons on the bottom wing. They're quite large, but the plan suggests that you could put another set of ailerons on the top wing and make it a little bit more aerobatic and remove one outer panel just to bring it into less draggy sort of configuration. Anyway, so that's the Manik and the Wayfarer. The Wayfarer's got a fair turn of speed on it actually, and you can see it looks so much more streamlined compared to the Manik, but the construction is exactly the same, built up. Let's just move on down to the last model, and that is my Hangar 9 Sopwith Camel. Again, 60-inch wingspan. Got some nice flying videos. Nice one with the camera also on the rotating servo in the cockpit, which I'll put a link to in the description if you want to have a look at that one. I think Hangar 9 is an American company, and they produced these. All you have to do was assemble them really, but I bought this one with a 4-stroke engine which I've sold on and converted it to electric, and it uses the same battery as the other two. Actually, they're both 4-cell 5000 or 6000 milliamp hour. It was quite old, it's an old model. Could really do with recovering, but I'll have to wait till another day. My very first flight I actually cartwheeled it, no damage whatsoever. Oh, I think I broke a rigging wire, but it's got lovely big wheels so it can handle the longer grass. Ailerons on both sets of wings, so it's got a reasonable roll rate. When I say roll, I mean I'm not doing aerobatics particularly, but it certainly has a good manoeuvrability. It's also got rigging on the tailplane as well. Looks quite scale-like. There's the original switch in the side. There's nothing behind it. Oh, that's a nice little feature. I made a little petrol pump that spins around in the wind. I had to cut the propeller down on that actually because it was making an awful whining noise, a bit Stuka-like. I thought there was a problem with the plane. I landed it and realised what it was, so I just cut it down a little bit and it turns a little bit slower, which is nice. This has got a huge access hatch. That's just the wire to the rotating servo, but you can get your hands into there. Way down there in the bottom is my little Gorpner receiver, but this model's certainly built for with lots of space on board. It's also got quite pretty underneath on that one. All the markings. Turn it around. Got a nice scale-ish looking tail skid. I don't think it's spring loaded. Never investigated it, to be honest. But the Camel, called the Sopwith Camel, of course, because of the, you probably know this, but called the Camel, nicknamed the Camel, because of the hump over the machine guns. So camels have humps. I needed to add a little bit of nose weight on this, so I bought one of these brass prop spinners. Solid brass, weighs an ounce, but it made all the difference. It's quite a heavy aeroplane actually, but being a biplane it's so lightly loaded that it floats around the sky. So, Sopwith Camel, Svensson Wayfarer, old design now. They're all old, all my planes are old. And the DB, Dave Boddington Manik. Interestingly, the Manik is supposed to fly pretty well, just on rudder only. Rudder elevator, that is. You can see the excess dihedral in the wings. Very stable aeroplane to fly. I wouldn't be surprised if you couldn't learn to fly on it, to be honest. The Wayfarer is a little bit slicker. It's a good turn of speed on it. The Camel just flies at a scale sort of speed. But it will fly faster, but who wants to fly in faster, eh? So any questions? Shove them in the comments below. If you like to subscribe to my videos, little Spitfire icon in the corner there, hopefully. If not, you can subscribe on the link below in the comments, description rather, as well. And thank you very much for looking in. And my name's Cliff Harvey RC Planes. As you know, like the video would be good, subscribe, and you can see certainly the Manik in action very soon, as soon as this quarantine's over.